All right, let's jump right into this explainer. We're going to completely change how you look at SOC 2 compliance today, taking it from this dreaded, painful hurdle to a literal strategic advantage for your business. Because in the world of SaaS and digital services right now, security just isn't a shiny feature you tack on anymore. It is a strict, absolutely undeniable requirement. So today, we're taking a really close look at how top organizations are shifting their whole compliance posture from simply checking a box to building a rock-solid foundation of absolute trust. But before we get too deep into the weeds, here is our roadmap for today. 1. The cost of ignoring security. 2. Decoding SOC 2 compliance. 3. The 7-step readiness roadmap. And 4. Unlocking your strategic advantage. So let's kick things off with Section 1, the cost of ignoring security. Seriously, I want you to ask yourself this right now. Is your startup losing enterprise deals? Because let's face it, big enterprise clients, they absolutely will not hand over sensitive data to providers who haven't been formally audited. Just picture this for a second. Your sales team has spent, months nurturing this massive enterprise deal. You finally get to the finish line, due diligence begins, and bam, they ask for your compliance report. If you don't have it ready to go, you could literally lose months of growth in an instant, or just fail to close the deal entirely. It's brutal. But the hidden financial and operational costs? They go way, way beyond just blowing a single sale. Just think about undefined internal controls. That's when you're relying on these informal, totally chaotic processes to manage things like passwords and employee access. And that operational chaos means one tiny employee error could lead to a data breach that spreads like wildfire and goes completely undetected for months. Oh, and we definitely can't forget the legal side of things. Failing to protect your client's intellectual property, that can easily lead to SLA violations and some incredibly heavy lawsuits. Moving right along to Section 2, decoding SOC 2 compliance. Okay, so we've established exactly what's at stake here. Now let's actually demystify this acronym we hear thrown around all the time. SOC 2, or System and Organization Controls, is essentially a reporting framework. It's specifically designed to prove that you are managing customer data based on some seriously rigorous standards set by the AICPA. So the absolute crucial point you need to take away here is that this isn't just a basic to-do list. It is tangible, undeniable proof to the world that your cloud services are built on a foundation of absolute trust. And that brings us to a massive point of confusion in the industry, the difference between a Type 1 and a Type 2 audit. Best way to think about it? Think of a Type 1 audit as a one-time photograph. It evaluates the design of your security controls at a highly specific point in time. Click, snapshot, done. A Type 2 audit, on the other hand, is much more like a documentary film. It evaluates the operational effectiveness of those exact same controls over a continuous period, usually about 6 to 12 months. It proves you don't just have the rules written down somewhere in a dusty binder, you actually follow them every single day. Now, to actually achieve that compliance, you have to meet the AICPA Trust Services criteria. It's basically a giant pie, cut perfectly into these 5 essential slices for cloud services: security, availability, processing integrity, confidentiality, and privacy. Depending on your specific cloud architecture and, modern data requirements, you actually might not need to be audited on all 5. But you do have to figure out which of these slices apply directly to your business. And honestly, that brings us exactly to why you need a concrete roadmap to conquer these specific criteria. All right, on to Section 3, the 7-step readiness roadmap. This is the most actionable part of our explainer. It's all about how you actually get there by engineering a highly structured path to demonstrate trust. We're going to break this down to make it super modular for you. Step 1 is scoping and TSC selection. This is where you decide which of those 5 criteria slices we just talked about actually matter for your day-to-day operations. Step 2 is the gap assessment, basically auditing your existing processes to find out exactly where you're falling short of those AICPA standards. From there, we roll right into Step 3, remediation and hardening. This is where the experts give you a clear to-do list to fix any infrastructure flaws. And Step 4 is evidence collection. This is where you start gathering crucial digital proof. I'm talking system logs, screenshots, the exact kind of stuff the auditor is going to demand to see. Then we round out the whole shebang with the final 3 steps. Step 5 is policy development. This is all about drafting custom security policies that check the SOC 2 boxes, sure, but actually fit your company's unique vibe and culture. Step 6 is the mock audit. And trust me on this one, you absolutely do not want your first time answering a CPA's questions to be during the real thing. This is a final dress rehearsal to ensure your team is 100% ready. And finally, step 7 is audit support, where a technical liaison steps in on your behalf during the external audit to make sure everything goes smoothly and you actually get that report issued. Now, I know what you're thinking. How long is all this going to take? Well, here is a very realistic look at the time commitment. From month 0, the start of the process, it generally takes about 2 to 3 months of seriously hard work to get your Type 1 preparation totally complete. But remember that Type 2 documentary film we talked about earlier? Actually, scratch that. It's more like a long-term study. That observation period is going to require an additional 6 to 12 months of operating under those controls to prove they're consistently effective over time. It's a marathon, guys, not a sprint. And that brings us to our final part, Section 4, Unlocking Your Strategic Advantage. Let's wrap this up by looking at why going through this extensive roadmap is quite literally the ultimate business enabler. SOC 2 allows you to proactively hand over a mature, formal report to client security teams, which significantly shortens your sales cycles. You finally get to bypass those painfully lengthy 300-question security spreadsheets we all absolutely dread. Plus, it builds immense investor confidence for potential VCs and buyers because you're proving you have a mature operational framework. And honestly, uncovering all those little inefficiencies during the audit process ultimately helps you build a much faster, leaner organization, shifting your entire team toward an ongoing culture of data protection. The real magic of this readiness methodology is that it doesn't just point out where you're messing up. It gives you the exact framework to fix it. It takes what is so often viewed as a super annoying check-the-box exercise and turns it into a true blueprint for business excellence. It's all about taking a defensive requirement and totally transforming it into an offensive, strategic advantage for your company. I want to leave you with this final, really provocative thought from our source material today. In today's highly complex digital landscape, can your business truly afford to just keep guessing? Security isn't some check-the-box game anymore. It's the very foundation of your company's future. It's time to stop guessing and start securing. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I really hope this gives you a clearer, way more powerful perspective on your own compliance journey. Catch you next time.